Saira.
Saira.
Just to recollect what we discussed last week briefly so that we can continue. The question was posed by the Bhakta, devotee, to Swami. Swami, how can the gunas and the indriyas take form, and how did they appear in the Sukshma or the subtle Ramayana? Was the question asked. To which Swami goes on to explain that Dasharatha, or the father of Rama, embodies the 10 indriyas, because through only indriyas the gunas can come to life. And so we went into a lot of discussion about how these indriyas and then the jada, the inert material, how can it attain divinity and so on. That was the crux of the discussion last week. So we will continue from where we left off. Saira, maybe.
Bhakta, 4 sons were born of Dasharatha. Of what were they the forms, Swami? Swami, from the 10 senses, not only 4, but any number of gunarupas can originate, but only the chief, the 4, symbolizing the 4 faces of the Lord, originated by his will. They are born as Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. They are Satya, Dharma, Shanti, and Prema in the subtle form. These are the 4 faces of the Lord. Bhakta, who among these, Swami, is Satya, who represents Dharma, Shanti, and Prema? Swami, can't you discover? Rama is Satya. The status and the honor should go to him who has the right, not to me, said Bharata when he was offered the crown, and so he is Dharma. Placing complete faith on the Atma, that is Rama, believing that there is no Ananda sweeter than its uninterrupted company. Lakshmana followed Rama, and so he is Prema. Having no individual separate ambition of his own, treading the path followed by these 3, Shatrughna was calm and unperturbed, and so he is Shanti. Is that clear?
Thank you very much, Sister Kalyani. I think Swami has very beautifully explained the values, which we all say Swami is the 5 values of what Swami teaches. And Swami says the Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna are the embodiments or the subtle forms of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. And they sort of depict to us, they show us how do we practice these values. Very, very clearly Swami has explained. So I will stop here. I will open it up for discussion, and the participants can share their thoughts, please. Saira.
Sairam, brother. I don't know. That is just, I thought, there's a tradition. I don't know where that saying come from, but traditionally they say Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. So especially for Dharma, Rama is his very form is dharma. So that how that goes with this? Just
Thank you very much.
maybe he both dharma, satya, everything, but that's.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Others, anyone who would like to share your thoughts, please? Not only, Rama is truth, and Rama is the embodiment of dharma, Vigrahavan dharma, or the crystallization of dharma is Rama, if you want to put it the other way, another way. So I think, so brother is asking, so Swami says Rama is Satya, and so he said Rama is the embodiment of dharma. And so how do we reconcile, or how do we understand this too? So I think Brother Malation's question. So I will open it up for discussion, please. Because if we understand this slide, then we understand the values. So I think it's good we discuss thoroughly, what exactly Swami is trying to explain to us. Saira.
So Sairam, brother. So here Rama we can is example for Satya, because for the father's word, he went to the jungle with Sita. So because he, whether father like it or not, but he wants to obey the father's, the word was given to Kayeyi. So because of that one, he saw that what if you say something, you have to do it. So word is very important. Satya is very important. Other one, dharma is God. So whatever he ruled the country, how he behaved, everything according to the dharma. Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
So
Anyone else? Yes, please.
I have a maybe the along the same path, but it's in a different way. Satya is very independent. It can survive without having the other values, but all other values, dharma, prema, shanti, if that person doesn't have Satya, then they cannot, these three values cannot exist. That's why Swami has given the prominence, the value of Satya to Rama. Rama, if he holds Satya, then all three, the values, it would be intertwined or inbuilt in that Satya. That sort of understanding I am having. That could be right or wrong, but that sort of things I am having. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share thoughts? Thank you. Okay, maybe if no one is saying, maybe yes, just to keep the conversation going, maybe I will speak. If anyone has something to say, please interrupt. So that I think, brothers, I will just discuss what Brother Vimalasan asked, I contemplated on. So I will just share what my thought was. See, Rama is called Vigrahavan Dharma. Rama is not called Dharma, just to, for that purpose. So it is a crystallization or the embodiment of Dharma is what the saying is. So it's something like this. For example, if you take, I think before I spoke about that, I think the Telugu version, Swami has explained a little more. He says the Lord became 4 parts and took the forms of Rama Lakshmana. So the Lord, who's one, became 4 and demonstrated to the humankind what these 4 are. Swami has described this in many other places also. For example, if we take a sugar, the sugar has a form, it has a color, it has a taste, and so on. But the taste is not separate from the sugar. The form is also not separate. So the same way, Rama sort of embodied the essence of all that in a crystallized form, and that's what's called Satya, that it acts as part of dharma. Swami says love is everything. Then people can say then love is Lakshmana means is Rama, things like that. They are all different aspects of the same thing. That's why Swami says the four faces of the Lord. So that means the Lord is one, but each face symbolizes something so that we can understand it properly. After all, Swami would say all four of them are together, it's one only. But for a human being, for us to understand. So my understanding is Rama and Lakshmana are no different than each other, but they embodied different aspects of the same thing. So dharma is Satya, dharma is also prema, prema is also Satya, prema is also dharma, shanti is also. I think that's the way we should look at it. But it's a different aspects of the same thing is my understanding. So when Swami says Rama, I think it's all four brothers put together is the real Rama, Atma Rama. But for our purposes, they just took four roles to demonstrate what it is my understanding, brother. I will again open it up for others to share their thoughts. Sai Ram.
Yeah, Sai Ram. Yeah, that's a very good explanation. And so that makes sense. And also, I think what Brother Dasan mentioned and what Sister Anandi said also is give more insight. So that's good. Thank you, sir.
Sairam. This is a story we are listening to Ramayana. That even though that's very, very essential for the daily life for the mankind, these teachings. That's what Swami says, that Rama is that Satya, that if you give a word, you have to keep the word all the time. That's very, very important things. That because Dasara was given the word to the Kaikeyi when they were in the war time, then he was given the promise that he will give the 2 boons. No? That at the time of that coronation time, she was asking the boons that Dasara don't want to give the boon that because he was very loving Rama, very loving to Rama. That's the time he was fainted. That time that Kaikeyi reached to Rama and saying that father is telling that you had to go to the forest 14 years, even though that he didn't say nothing. So he agreed to go to forest. And at the time he didn't think about that his father has given the promise for a long time, and why I had to go and fulfill the promise. But he didn't say nothing. He said, if father says or you say the same thing, I agree with your word, I'm going to the forest. He he keep the promise of his father. That's the main things that Rama has did. That Swami has given the name to Rama, that Satya, and Bharata also that Kaikeyi and other people afford that kingdom to him, for Bharata. And he said, no, it's not right to me. That's my brother's place. I don't want to get it. So he rejected. So he was standing that point that dharma. Then he is get the dharma. That's the right place that he got it. Thank you, Sai.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to share?
Just a question. So if anyone could just kind of explain a bit more about what Swami says is prema. He's saying placing complete faith on the Atma and believing there's no ananda sweeter than its company. That's kind of the definition of prema, which Swami's giving, which I thought, is kind of different from what I thought love is. So I could use some explanation about that.
Thank you very much, sister. Again, I will open it up, please. Anyone who would like to comment on Lakshmana and how he symbolized prema? It says, Saira.
I think that Swami says that for all four, Swami, as you said, is beautifully explained why you can categorize them as each four values. But for this one, I think Swami ascribe prema to Lakshmana because he wouldn't part from Rama even for a second. He's inseparable. So that is that here it looks like physically, but more than physical. That is the, I think there. So because if someone has prema for God, he should be 24/7 in the thought of he should experience bliss in the thought of God. And I think that is why particularly Swami may be saying that. Rama is, as you said, Atma Rama is God, and Lakshmana is the best devotee. Maybe that kind of relationship. Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
So, Sairam, I like to add one point to the brother Malaysian. So when they are walking in the jungle, so Lord Rama said to his brother Lakshmana, put a heart in Panjavadi. So then Lakshmana asked, where can I put it? Then Lord Rama said, wherever you like. Then he was a little bit upset and he was crying. Then Lord Rama asked him, why are you crying? So because you said, whatever you have wished, wherever you want, we can put it. Then then Lakshmana said, I don't have wish or anything because I am following you. Whatever your command or whatever you want to do, I'm going to do that one. I don't have anything because Lakshmana gave up everything, even that wife didn't come with him. Everything he gave up and only he followed Lord Rama. So he surrendered everything. That kind of love he had it. That's what among all the four, Lakshmana was comparing to love. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment, share your thoughts?
Sairam, I want to share my thought here. Like in the previous passage, Swami mentioning Lakshmana as a Manas, because he was saying in the dark jungle of forest, you shouldn't be stand alone. That's the reason Lakshmana was with all the time with Rama. Maybe we can we relate that point also along this subject Sister Kalyani was asking? Can we relate those two aspects of it? Because one time Swami is mentioning as like Manas, and again here he's in a different matter. He's talking about prema. So like, can we combine these two, and can we understand a little bit more on those? Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Again, I will open it up for anyone to share your thoughts, please.
Saira, that's it. Satya, Dharma, Sandhi, and Prema. That's all values, four values. That if we have, if we get one value that we have that Satya, that other three values coming with this, joined, interconnected, that automatically it's come together. That's where that Swami gives that always that the Rama and Lakshmana all the time they are together in that they are when they are born, that Payasam also that shared with the Rama's portion. Mm. That just come together. So that Satya and love and Prema, Sandhi all together, that's connected with that because of that all four born with one place. That mean that one pot of payasan. No, that that's no separation with that. If you have Satya in your mind, it's other three values or four values come together, connect that follow together. That's the way the Swami connected that Satya Sai Santi Prema aim for the Rama, Lakshmana, and Shatrugna. Yes, thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sairam, I look at it, the complete faith is very, very important to be for true love. In out of four, the Rama, Lakshmana, Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrugna, only the Lakshmana, maybe according to the story and everything, had the full faith on Rama. That's why he followed the inseparable and everything. That's why the Swami would have, taken Lakshmana to compare with Brahma, because complete faith, because of Lakshmana's complete faith on Rama, he followed all the way to the 14 years in the jungle and all kind of happiness and the difficult time, happy time, everything. In all the time, Lakshmana was with Rama because of his unshakable, complete faith. Maybe because of that, one Swami has compared Brahma to him. That's my understanding. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you.
So according to this one, brother, the manners and the love is both are important. That manners is the one, your thoughts and everything, your desire, everything created through the manners. So the manners is very important, has to be pure, then only you can do the action and everything. And the love, then they reach the goal with the manners and the love. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Sairam, brother, I don't know if I will be able to explain because I'm not clear, but I've heard long time back that how we are reading here, that all four faces are Lord, that makes complete Rama. And in Dwarpa Yuga, I don't know who was with Krishna that made a complete Krishna. And that's why we said our Sai is Poon Avatar, because he himself is complete. He has all those qualities. He doesn't need those faces or, so I don't know. Am I on the right track? Something like that I heard. I hope you got my gist, what I'm saying.
Yes, sister. Yes, that's right.
Saira, I give some thought about with that too, that if we wanted to reach our goal, that we need that our love is that very important aspect there, that love, if we have the pure love, that selfless love, we can reach the God. That Rama is that, I can say that Paramatma. So we have to, if we reach the Paramatma, we need a pure love. Then with the pure love, we can reach whatever we goal have to reach. That is my second opinion for that. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sairam.
Yes, Auntie.
This is Aku Auntie. Manas is one of the andhakaranas. The human values are the love, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. But you cannot be without a manas. In all stages, you need to have manas. The manas can do the bad and also can help you to reach the goal. So manas is an important aspect in any human body. Thank you, Saya.
Thank you very much, sister. Auntie. Anyone else has something to say?
Sairam, brother. For Kalyani's question, I was just thinking, but that's a basic thing, anyways. Atma here is referred to as a sparkle of divine. So everyone has that, right? That the Atma is compared to the God. And when you constantly believe without any kind of belief, then you will have the Ananda. So it's a God connection. You can constantly have your connection with God. Then that is gives you Ananda. That's the love. So again, Atma is the Rama, Rama is a God. So that's the my understanding.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Anyone else? So maybe, so what I think a few questions, stray thoughts have come, because I think everyone has highlighted some very nice points. So I thought I would just do some sort of summarizing, and then we can continue the discussion. I think I will start with Brother Arul's question about mind. Because Swami said in the previous earlier, Swami said mind is Lakshmana, Manas. If we go back to chapter 12, Swami also is making the statement that moon is the love. If you go back to the 12th chapter of Sandeha Nivarini, Swami is making a statement. Love is moon. It gives cool light to the heart, pleasing to the heart, is what Swami has said. So Hridaya is always, Swami says, the Atman, that's also Atma Raman. And the mind should always be pointing towards the Atman. That's why Swami said the mind should not be far away. Lakshmana was always together. So the mind has been compared to the moon. The moon has been compared to the love. And here again, Swami says Lakshmana. Earlier Swami said mind, now he says is prema. So I think it's all very, it seems very direction for all of us that our mind should be only going with the Lord, and that is called prema, and that will give us joy. And as Brother Dasan has already said, Lakshmana gave up everything. She didn't say, I am married, I cannot neglect my wife, my duties at home, nothing. Everything dropped, and he said, I will go with the Lord. So that kind of love, no attraction, no worldly duties will come in the way. That is how Lakshmana dedicated his life with love. Then I will go to what Sister Shivani shared, Swami, Rama was not Purna Avatar, and because all four of them. Swami has also spoken about that. Swami says an avatar has 16 kalas, 16 attributes. Rama had only 12. This is the story. Rama is supposed to have 12. One attribute came from Parashurama to Rama. Okay. Then the other three aspects, one aspect actually came from the Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. Only then, because they were all together, that is how Rama was complete avatar. That's why Swami, everyone says Krishna is Purna Avatar, Rama Avatar only. He was lacking certain aspects of the avatar because it was shared by others who were around. And from this also we can see, if Rama had all the maximum, Satya, each of these brothers just demonstrated one aspect of something which we all can learn from. So if we say that, it means all of us say we are divine and all that, but we all believe in Swami. If Swami is divinity, we have a spark of divinity, and how do we connect to him is demonstrated, from what I understand, by Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrughna. Because Lakshmana gave up everything and loved Rama, and that is what as human beings we can do. Just think of him, give up everything for him, cultivate love, so much love. And then Bharata was only serving Rama. Whatever Rama said, he will do. But he felt Rama is the rightful king. So that should be our attitude with the Lord. And of course, Shatrughna, he just embodied acceptance. Whatever everyone said, he just went along because that is what the Lord wants. So I think as human beings, if we can cultivate these three, because the truth is only God can be the total truth. Of course, as Brother Rajagopal said, Rama was actually protecting the word of Dasharatha. As the word which is used is Pitruvakya Paripalana, means he protected the word which Dasharatha had given. Not necessarily Dasharatha told him to go, because that didn't happen. Dasharatha didn't want him to go. But he had given a word, and that word was protected by Rama. And as some they said, Rama is the only one who can stand by himself. He doesn't need anyone else. That's the Lord. But we as us, we are all dependent on that Lord. And if we show love towards the Lord, then we are practicing the value of love. If we are practicing what the Lord wants us to do, thinking that this is what the Lord wants us to do, that is dharma. If we say we'll accept whatever happens, then that becomes Shanti. Then we will live like Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. And then that is the only way we can be totally united with Satya, which is Swami, and his name is Satya also. It's so, I don't know whether it's coincidental or that's the way he designed. So I think Swami's avatar means we are all small sparkles which have to relate to him through those. Those were some thoughts which came to me, listening to everyone. Wonderful discussion. I don't know. Others can share, compliment whatever I've said, Saira.
Sairam, I want to ask a question here. This payasam was shared by to Sumitra. Those half of that, like each one of them shared their portion, half of those portions to Sumitra. Thereby, she got two sons, Lakshmana and Satrughna. And also, we are missing here something, that pot of payasam that was kept in somewhere in the, that's the story I read somewhere, and that was taken by a bird, and that bird dropped it into when those rishis, I don't know, they were longing for their son, and it was dropped in for them. They got that pot, and she had it, and that's the reason that the Hanuman was born. And also in the Pattabhishekam, something that Rama is mentioning today, Nangal indaki Ivarano, we become 5 of them. Not, he didn't say that we are only 4, but we become 5. How do those things come in here into this structure? Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. I will again open it up for discussion. So brother's question is, if there are 4, then there are others 5, 6, and Hanuman is also aspect. Everyone said, how is it different? How can we reconcile that thought with what is being said? So I will again open it up for discussion. I think Swami has already addressed it, so I will open it up for discussion.
In that case, we have learned that Hanuman is courage, okay, before. So you need courage to bring out everything. So that's the way I will look at it, Hanuman. So that is a part of for every values to be connected. The courage is the one they use it, kind of. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister. Anyone else? Okay, so I will just point out, actually, Brother Arul, if you go to the first response of Swami to the question on this slide, Swami is making a statement, from the 10 senses, not only 4, but any number of guna rupas can originate. Yeah. But only the chief, the 4, symbolizing the 4 faces of the Lord. So from what we can say is, the multitudes of human beings also born of the Lord. But the thing is, he's the most important qualities are the four, is what Swami says. So Swami has already addressed this point there, because anyone and everyone is actually a spark of the divine. So that is why 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, thousands or millions or billions can be the qualities or the guna rupas, the forms. But the more chief ones are four, and the Swami is saying only the four we are concerned about, because everyone has to cultivate those four important qualities or values. I think that's what Swami has said. So I think Swami may have addressed your question, anticipating it. It actually Rama is everything, everyone, but we are only talking about the four important ones. That's what I understand. Sai Ram. I hope.
Sai Ram. Because I want to get the inside story of why they shared those payasam to Sumitra, and how this payasam was shared to Hanuman's mother. Or those of inside story. Is there any inside story? Swami elaborated in your. Did you study something like that?
I think So we.
I don't know. Maybe it's a digression. I don't want to go far, but we will stick to that point. But if you know something.
No. I think Swami is talking about the mothers. I think the next slide. I think we will park this question for discussion around that time, I would say, if it's okay. When we read that, this is.
Yeah, that should be fine. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother, you have mentioned that 16 gunas.
Kalas.
Yes. That and one Rama got it from Parashurama. That, can you elaborate on that, please, a little bit? Thank you.
I don't mean, this, I'm just quoting from, what Swami has said. So when the Lord is present, when he's born, he's how he plays the drama. No, we don't understand. But Parashurama is supposed to have come as an Amsa avatar earlier on. And so when Rama, because they are actually contemporaries, the same time. So that aspect of that divine Kala was already present in Parashurama, who came for a particular reason. So when Rama, the Lord came in the form of Rama, they came with one less of attribute, because that was already present, demonstrated by the avatar Parashurama. So the thing is, at some point that had to be absorbed by Rama. So that is how the story goes, that when Rama got married Sita and they were coming back, before his the Parashurama came and supposed to challenge Rama, and then he had given everything which he had to Rama and left. So each avatar, the way the Lord plays is very difficult for us to understand. But the thing is that Kala was with Parashurama, and he had met, and that was transferred to Rama, is what the story is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, it is again, Parashurama also stood for something, if anyone knows. Parashurama dedicated his life to bringing up, establishing righteousness among the kings. He fought with all the kings, Kshatriyas, and cleaned up. So it's similar, actually, if you want to say, there's a story in Christianity, because we just went past Chris. There's the story of, John the Baptist was considered an avatar, but he came just to declare that, the world is ready for the Lord and Jesus is coming. And when Jesus came, he's supposed to have baptized Jesus. Okay, and what actually, it's again the same thing. He said, my job of declaring to the world is done. Now it is Jesus who takes over. Okay, so it is similar concept. The divinity is present and the Lord works in different ways. So it is something similar, I would say, in Ramayana too.
Thank you.
Parshurama. So that's my understanding. You should read and you should contemplate and you should come to your own understanding. But no one else was speaking, so I spoke. Sai Ram, sister. Yes, if everyone, I think Kalyani, you have a question, or you're okay with the answers and discussions?
Yes, thank you. That really clarified everything for me. Yeah, definitely, especially prema. I think what I come to understand after listening to everything is what Swami considers prema or love is only that love towards God, like nothing else is prema. And that if I don't really have complete faith until I can say that I would choose Swami and reading about Swami or listening to Swami over every other thing in my life. So that's, yeah, and I guess that's when your mind is at that stage and you will only always choose Swami over everything, then you can develop that love. But one thing, I guess you've like really beautifully explained everything, like what is dharma, what is prema, and what is shanti here. So for Satya, Swami doesn't give much of an explanation. He just says Rama is Satya. I guess is that just because he's beyond?
That's my understanding, sister. That's my understanding. Though, we all say speak the truth. That real truth is speaking about God. So, but, we have a mundane understanding of what is truth. Swami is like, so that's just very true. It's inexplicable. The only, we cannot practice truth as, other than just dedicate loving the Lord. Is my understanding. I think Swami, this nicely explained. We can love, we can do what the Lord says, and we can accept everything which happens. These are three within our capacity as devotees, which is what all three of them did. They saved the Lord, served Satya, which served Rama, and Rama was. That is why Rama is such an inspiration. The name itself was so great. Thank you, Saira. Shall we move on to the next slide, if it's okay?
Bhakta, yes, Swami, but these four were born of three mothers. Who are those? Who are whose mothers? Swami, as I said just now, born in Maya, bred in Maya, one has to transcend this Maya. So also, one is born from gunas, one is brought up with gunas. Finally, one has to transcend the gunas. The three mothers represent three gunas. Among them, Kaushalya is Sattva guna, Kaikeyi is Rajoguna, and Sumitra is Tamoguna. They play those roles in the epic. Dasharatha, in the form of Dasendriyas, is associated with these gunas, and so he is Indriya Guna Swarupa. It is because man cannot easily grasp the truth through the senses and the gunas only that the Lord taught him through the Ramayana, the Lord teaching us even to this day. The Lord performed that day the gross Ramayana, and today he is performing the Sukshma Ramayana on the stage of the heart of man.
Thank you very much, sister. Swami is now going on to explaining the mothers, Sattva Guna, Rajas, and Tamo, as how these three mothers and how children were born of them. So I think that ties into some of the questions which Brother Harul also asked. So I will, how the one payasam was shared by three, and then Swami is now saying, Kaushalya is Sattva, Kaikeyi is Rajo, and Sumitra is Tamas, but Tamas and Rajas also had some good children. So I will open it up for discussion. Saira, very nice.
Sairam brother, I have a question here. Okay, Kausalya is Sattva Guna, I agree. Why why Sumatra was given Tamo and Kaikeyi was Rajo? But it's supposed to be other way around, yeah? Tamo supposed to be Kaikeyi and Sumatra supposed to get Rajo. That's part I didn't understand, brother. Thank you, Sairam.
Very good question, brother. So I will again open it up. See, some of them actually Swami wants us to think and contemplate and understand, because Ramayana, every single detail is actually full of insight. So I will open it up for discussion. If anyone has something to share, please, before talking.
Sairam, I remember the other way around. Dasan said the other way. Kaiheyi is very aggressive and demanding and fighting the husband and asking for the brother's rulership. But Sumitra, of course, silent. I didn't hear Sumitra's interaction. So maybe she is so passive, Sumitra. Kahi, we can readily accept that she is Rajasic, fighting and telling the son, so many things like that. But even though these three, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, but the payasam that was eaten by them all should have been Sattva or greater than Sattva. So each of them will have the pure Sattvic quality mixed in their womb. And also your brother one day said, no, that these three qualities are in each of us, but one may be predominant when compared to other two. So each of these three will be having all three, but Kausalya most of the time is Sattva, so he gets the Sattva character, and Kaiheyi most of the time fighting and demanding, and so is Rajasic. And Sumitra is not always passive, so she could be predominantly depicting tamas. This is what my thinking coming to me. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much.
Sairam, I think I agree with what Brother Sudha said, and also I am wondering how far we can stretch these things. So I am just mentioning this. If I am wrong, please, Arno, correct me. I think later on somewhere, I don't know, somewhere Swami has mentioned, I read somewhere, I think, he was praising Kaiyeyi that she just want to do the dirty job just to fulfill the drama for which God has taken avatar as Rama. So she willingly taken the bad role so that the entire purpose of the avatar and the drama will be fulfilled. So if I'm wrong, please, I don't know, correct. I remember I read somewhere. So why I am saying this is, we should have a correct perspective to understand what the allegorical meanings, these things, and shouldn't stretch it too far. I don't know what. So I don't know. I think you understand what I am saying.
Yes, brother. Yes. We should understand the allegory well. I accept that.
So, Sairam, brother, I like this one, born in Maya, bred in Maya. So, everyone born in Maya, bred in Maya. So we have the three gunas, whatever here mentioned here, but we have to attain this example, how the four brothers attain the Swami comparing the Dharma, Shanti, peace and everything. Same way, we can also achieve whatever the gunas there, but we have to attain those four qualities. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother.
I am, brother. I have a question on this one. Dasaratha in the form of Dasendriyas, okay, and he has associated with the gunas and the Dasendriyas. But with that, you cannot realize God, truth. So for that, Lord taught him the Ramayana. But Dasaratha passed when Rama has gone to the younger. So, what is the actual lesson was given to Dasaratha at that point by the Lord? I'm just trying to understand. Thank you.
Lesson by through what, sister? Can you again?
In that was sentence, Swami saying, the Lord teaching, the Lord taught him through the Ramayana, okay, for Dasaratha. So because he is those gunas and triyas, so the same triyas associate with gunas. Okay, so these two only he has it, but in order to understand the truth, Lord had to help him, right? So Lord taught him through the Ramayana. So what is the lesson was taught to Dasaratha in this Ramayana? Because we know the story has a lot of meanings and lot of teachings and everything. But for Dasaratha, what is the teaching was given by Ramayana?
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Anyone who would like to comment on this
Sairam,
question?
I think what Swami means there is that's what I think. Maybe I don't know whether I'm correct, but for that question, I think Swami is trying to say that Indriya Guna Swarupa, that is man, cannot realize a God with these aspects in Guna Swarupa. So Dasaratha, though he has the Lord himself as his son, he loved him only with the attachment, with the bodily attachment, or that kind of. He couldn't, though he is the Lord. He couldn't realize that his son was God himself. That is, I think that is what. So to realize that, we have to go beyond Indriya Guna Swarupa. I think that's what Swami means there. Sairam.
Sairam, it's very good. I think Vimalesam brought out the aspect. It makes sense, very much makes sense. And Dasaratha had given 2 boons at the time, earlier time to Kaikeyi. So Kaikeyi is utilizing the 2 boons induced by Kuni, so mantra. So by one, Rama has to go to the forest, and by other second boon, Bharata has to be crowned. And so he gave promise, so it should be kept. The promise should be kept. So the Bhagawan has said in one place that when Kaikeyi asked Rama to go to the forest, Rama and the Dasaratha didn't say anything. Rather, fell on his bed and mourning. He didn't say not to go. He didn't say to Rama not to go. He was agony and suffering within his, because that in that earlier in the Kaikeyi boon times, and I remember Putra Soham. So the curse was on Dasaratha that he will die due to Putra Soham. That is separation from his beloved son. And also, as Brother Vinesan said, he loved so much Rama, so much Rama in infatuation towards Rama, and without realizing that Rama is God. That's one point. Now currently everybody is talking about Sai Baba. Sai Baba, people who were living closely with Sai Baba is highly, where they were crying, mourning, and that they are unable to separate, understand the reality of Bhagawan. People are saying that one. So I just saw the teaching is that one, he has to, the curse, he has to accept the curse that he will die due to separation of her son. Secondly, the whatever the word given must be kept. So he is yielding. He is yielding because he didn't say not to go. He is yielding. And thirdly, the brother Wilson said, attachment to the bodily attachment to the Lord, which is also harmful. These could be some of the teachings, and brother and others can say anything more, I think.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
So, Saram, brother, here, Tasarada, if we can assume, Tasa mean 10, Radha mean in Tamil we say Ter, so, or chariot. So, Tasa, that means Swami is mentioning about the 5 indriyas and 5 gunas, so together 10. So, it's a body. So, if you keep like that, but what is teaching for Tasarada? He gave the word. So, you all have to be careful when you are learning about the truth or whatever the word. He gave the word. And he never thought about in future what is going to happen. So, because of that word, you have to think what is going to happen in future. That is an important thing. Whether you can carry out whatever you have mentioned. So he couldn't do it, and later, so he died because of the word, because he was worried about that one. It's all happened. So that also one of the teaching in Ramayana. So this all five indriyas, 5 gunas with the body, and is all mixed with the gunas. So we have to achieve the 4 important things, whatever we mention here. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sai Ram,
Yes.
according to the Brother Vimalesan's talk, I have also read about discourse about Baba saying that Kaihehi is not a bad lady. She is very obedient and she is very good, and she wanted to fulfill Rama's mission. And she came forward to act like a bad lady, bad woman, and she asked the boons from Dasaratha to fulfill Rama's mission, because she wanted to fulfill Rama's mission, because Rama came and asked her to do this work for her, to ask the boons from her, and for him to go to the 14 years in the I don't know. That's what my understanding is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. So I think there were quite a few thoughts shared. So I thought I will just sort of string them together the way how it strung in my head. Very nice questions. I think I will start with Brother Dasan's question. There he said, shouldn't Kaikeyi be Tamas and Sumitra Rajas? I think that was the question, which was answered by others. But I think the reason why Brother Dasan asked, it's my guess, because Kaikeyi seems to be the worst of the lot. Okay, so Tamas is the bad quality. So we should assign Kaikeyi to that. And of course, there are others who came for Kaikeyi's defense too, that she is a good person. So the thing is, I think this is my understanding. If it's wrong, you just drop it. See, the payasam was given. Payasam is what God gives. It came down, and if we have it, we will be blessed. So it was given to Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. Kaushalya thought, I am so happy that I'm going to have a child. I don't think she thought anything else. Kaikeyi may have thought, I'm going to have a child, maybe he will become the king. Kaikeyi, Rajas. Tamas, what is the point? So, if a drink also, if anyone is born, they are not going to be king, they may have to be serving others. There were some negative qualities in Sumitra. So what happened? She lost the payasam. If we are in tamas, we will lose what God gives also, we will lose. Okay, Sumitra embodied that. But then what happens? Rajas and tamas, Rajas and Sattva come to the help. They call tamas and say, don't worry, you also have something, we will share. Okay, so what happens? Tamas have to be woken up by Rajas and Sattva. So they shared little bit. So the thing is, even though we have these qualities, they can be made transmuted into something good. Even if you lose something, we can transmute into good. So she must have made up her mind, fine, I will just serve Rajas and Tamas and their children. Rajas and Sattva and their children. So that was the transmutation of Sumitra itself, you can say. Okay. So, but there was certain worry, what is the use? The thought actually made her lose what she got. Okay, that is why I think she symbolizes some tamasic qualities. Everyone has inherent in them good. Then we'll come to Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was Rajas. She loved Rama so much. She's the one who taught the archery to Rama, Guru. Apparently, she used to look after Rama more than even Kaushalya because she loved Rama so much, even more than her own son. That was the love she had. But the thing is that Raja sometimes tends to grab power. And when that grabbing power comes, you even lose what you really cherished. We can see that even in organization, in spiritual organization, people love Swami, but they want the power. So what happened? They cause problem for everyone. Okay, so the thing is, Rajas has the tendency to go bad, Rajas has the tendency to do good. So Kaikeyi embodied both. But the thing is, they also serve a role in this world. If people are worried, why is our president doing this? They also do something, so maybe we'll learn something. Okay, so that is how these three mothers and the three gunas, how we can transmute them into something divine is demonstrated. Because they have a tendency, if you look at Sumitra, she had a dual tendency. Whereas Kaikeyi, she also had a dual tendency. She loved Rama, but she liked her son also. She wanted the power, all that. So it's complicated. So these gunas are really complicated. So then I think I will come to, those are thoughts which came up in my sprung up, so I thought I will just share. Then I think the question of Sister Aruna asked, if Dasharatha, what did he learn? Okay. I think it didn't come through very clearly. We are Dasharatha. See, in us, we have Dasharatha, we have Kaikeyi, we have Sumitra, we have Kaushalya. Within us. So Swami has used the word Indriya Guna Swarupa. Indriya means 10 Indriyas. Guna are the wives. So Indriya Guna Swarupa is the person. Who is the Indriya Guna Swarupa? We are the Indriya Guna Swarupa. What is the lesson? Dasharatha, who was only thinking about the senses, even though he liked Rama, he enjoyed Rama, he actually cried and died. Because Indriya should understand that there's nothing you are losing. Okay, but Indriya wants immediate pleasure. Okay, within us, we are the same problem. Even though we have the Lord in our own heart and we know Swami is God and all that. For example, now it's COVID situation. Everyone thinks, oh, Swami is God, he will protect us and everything like that. Okay, he's all powerful, he will guard us, guide us. It's almost like Brahma Jnana, I think Swami will go back. Then Swami said, Brahma Jnana is not good enough. You need to get Anubhava Jnana. So what happens? COVID strikes now, we will say, we will all don't go to the center, don't sing Swami's name, spit will spread disease, corona, all that will come. Brahma Jnana is gone. Because Anubhava Jnana is not there because we don't believe in the name. We don't believe in the name. We don't believe in the power of the Lord. We rather believe in vaccine and, somebody who comes on the TV and says, go and take. Our faith in the power of the name is not there. So of course we will close the door and we will be crying, we will be sad, everyone is dying, this, that. So that is our lot. If somebody dies, we will cry. We say Swami is Lord, he is looking after. We'll say, oh, let the person go and reach Swami's feet. But then we will still cry. That is the lot of Dashendriya. Because if we think through the senses, the pleasures of the world, even if we have the Lord as our son, we will cry and die. Dasharatha explained that to us very, very clearly. Okay, so all of our qualities, because it's incorrect understanding. We have the Lord, we are praying this, that. Dasharatha played with Rama. But he did not fully experience his divinity. He just looked at it from a physical perspective. That was his problem. So of course, you'll be pained, you will be dying. So actually, the Lord is teaching us who are the Indriya Guna Swarupa. Then he is teaching us now Indriya Guna Swarupa. We should understand very clearly that Rama is there. He is there. We will not go after anything. If we go like that, we will die like Dasharatha. Even though Rama was son. Okay, even the gunas, they also react up and down, angry and sad and happy. And so within all of us, there is goodness. That's why Swami calls us Prema Swarupalara, Divyatma Swarupalara. He says, you also divine, just like Kaikeyi was divine, Sumitra was also divine. We are also divine, Swami says, but we need to come to realize it. So this is what was taught there. How do we do that? Be like the brothers. Be like Lakshmana, be like Bharata, be like the Shatrugna. Then you become part of the Lord. You become the Lord. You merge in the Lord. This is what Ramayana is. It was happened as a story then. We should look at each character. How they lived, how they died, what they cried for, what they yearned for. All this is demonstrated. All this is actually Ramayana is us. The real Dasharatha is ourselves. If we identify with the senses, we are Dasharatha. If we identify with Rajas, we are Kaikeyi. If we identify with Tamas, we are Sumitra. But let us love the Lord, like the brothers. This is my understanding.
Thank you so much.
Sai Ram, I hope this is, I think, the final paragraph. I think, I thought we should not go with loose ends. I don't think, what I have said, because this is, I've had some experience in reading and contemplating, so I was able to share what has come to me. This is not complete, okay? But I thought, some questions were answered by some of these thoughts of mine, so I thought I will share. I'm sure each of us is Indriya Guru Swarupa, and within us all Rama is there, Sai Rama is there. Once we know how to love, once we know how to do his work, once we know how then we become part of him. And that is our goal, and that's what Swami says. So I thought I will share those thoughts. Sorry, I spoke too long, I guess. Others can share their thoughts.
Thank you very much, brother. It's very enlightening. Thank you,
brother. It's very good explanation. I understood too. Thank you.
We all learn about that Kaikeyi a lot, and she was loving better than consorting to Rama. And until that, she didn't have any idea about that Parada is going to be that king. No, that she never had that idea until that mantra come and to her. When she was come and tell that Kaikeyi that Rama is going to coronate it, then she gave her that present. Right away she go to a chain, that pearl chain, to present to that mantra. She threw it away and start to speak to Kaikeyi about that in future what's going to happen, that your son is going to be a slave to that Rama. I like that. That's the way she was positioned to that Kaikeyi. After that, only she changed her mind. That's the way that we had to be careful with our friendship. We are keeping our good friends or bad friends. That's the teaching here is giving to that his friendship with mantra. Thank you, Saira.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good example for satsang that we were discussing in the Dhyana Vahini. That's what brother is saying, that good company. So good
not
company.
only good company, brother, the promise also important. Don't give promise, without understanding. Then you have to take out of the promise. If it cannot do that, you're going to be end up with tasada too. Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Sairam, Sairam, may I interrupt for a moment, if you don't mind, please? Okay, so from this, if I recapitulate these points, Swami one time mentioning about the born in Maya, bred in Maya, one has to transcend this Maya. And others occasion, Swami is mentioning born in what do you call the senses, and then
senses.
We have to transcend the senses. And now Swami is saying we are born in gunas and we have to transcend the gunas. But that transcending the gunas, like even I think only the God himself is the gunatita. This transcend the gunas. Like he has no gunas, but he is in other things. His gunas are there. The gunas are in other things. He is in the gunas, but he is not in the. He has no gunas. So what is the state of that? The transcend the gunas. So if a human being passing all those stages, then what is he actually then?
What is God, or what's the last?
No.
What is last?
For an ordinary human being, passing all these stages, passing all those indriyas, the sense aspect of it, and then this Maya aspect of it, and the gunas aspect of it, then what is he actually then? He becomes the jnani, or some sort of a stages must be there, right? Isn't that?
Whose stage? Rama stage?
No. For an Atma, Atma level, it has come to a certain stage.
Yeah.
Because I am an ordinary human being. I am very, like
how that. Arul, we can't hear you. We seem to have lost.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Maybe it's my problem, my side.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, we are able to hear what Brother Arul said.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother. Should I be putting it again, or
please repeat? Yeah, I missed it.
No. That's okay. I love to hear from everybody, because my question is like, okay, Swami mentioning about born in Maya, bred in Maya, and then one has to transcend the Maya. In other occasions, Swami saying born in senses, and then we have to transcend the senses. And now Swami is saying born in the gunas, and then one has to transcend the gunas. So only thing I know is the gunatida is only the God. God is the gunangalellam kadandavaru endu sollicha. He is not in the gunas. Sorry, he has no gunas, but he is in the gunas. So as a person, as an ordinary human being, he is passing all those stages, and then what is he become?
He merged with the God.
He will become God himself.
I don't know. I hope you understand my question.
Yeah, I understand the
okay,
question.
sorry about that.
I'm just waiting. Sorry.
No.
Others are saying, please, everyone can share your thoughts, please.
So, my understanding, brother, Tasarada, that 10 thing. So everybody have that the 5 indriyas, 5 karmendriyas, and 3 gunas. With these all tools to merge to the Atma. Atma is a Rama. So without this one, you cannot do sadhana and merge with the Lord. That is my understanding.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else?
Actually, the last statement, last line of Arul, I don't get it. What is the final question, Arul's question? How how a man develops into quality less, or
like how can we, after all these achievements,
yeah,
but he becomes,
yeah,
what is he
actually,
becoming?
could
He is a god, he becomes a god, or what is it actually?
oh yeah, that's what we are talking about, that big example all the time, the ocean and the waves. No, so waves are within the Maya and within the gunas and within the senses, waves. So in one stage, after so many hundreds and hundred thousands of births, we got refined, and actually before the final merger in the sea, the wave has to get rid of all these attributes. Then only the wave can mix in the ocean, which is Parabrahman itself, which is qualityless. That is the teaching right from the beginning, Babas and all others. No, so that's what you're asking, or something else. I don't know. We have to become finally. Actually, we have to Sattva-guna. We have to develop Sattva-guna, and in the final merging, the total, the no birth after all, the nothing after all. At that state, even we discard the Sattva-guna also, and then only we merge in the Parabrahma. So that is what the theories are, and that's what I learned. Thank you, Sai Ram. Others can.
Thank you very much, brother. I think it's 10:17. So I will. I think the paragraph which we read last week, okay, it has the answers to Brother Arul's question. I don't know whether Sister Kalyani has it in the slide this time, but I will. So basically, what Swami says. No, the earlier one. Okay, that's good. That's good. So the brother's question is, what are we to do? Okay. So Swami says, the Indriyas and the Gunas, with the help of the mind, will reach Atman. Then there is merger. Otherwise, there can be no merging at all. Swami has already explained this. So I think, so because the brother Arul asked this question, so I went back to this. So Swami says the whole goal, because I think brother Arul's question is, who are we, where do we go, where is God? What Swami is telling is, God is within us. Okay, the Indriyas are there in us, the Gunas are in us, the good qualities are in us, all the innumerable other qualities are also in us. But the whole problem is we are all upset, sad, afraid, and all that. So Swami says, how do we make sense out of all this confusion? Okay. So as Brother Dasan said, the Indriyas should not give promise to anyone in this world. See, if anyone says, I have duty because you say, I will get married to you, then you are caught in the married life. If you say, I take this job, then you're caught in this world. This is the word which Brother Dasan said. Hereafter, Brother Dasan is not going to give word to anyone. As Brother says, you have to be careful. So the thing is, the Indriya should not give word without consulting the Rama. Okay, the Atman. So ultimately, our goal is to make these senses and the gunas merge in the Lord. And Swami says, with the help of the mind. Who is the mind? Lakshmana. Lakshmana embodied how we can go closer to the Lord and live with the Lord. So Indriyas and the gunas, with the help of the mind, will be close to Rama, and then we can merge. So with all the problems, Lakshmana was with the Lord, and he was always happy that he was with the Lord. So the Rama, see, they all gave up everything and went. Bharata transcended his own mother. Mother is God, people say. When Kaikeyi said, you are the king, she said, no way. Rama is the king. So they all overcame the negative tendencies of their own gunas. So they embodied in each of those gunas. How do we transcend and merge with the Lord? The brothers nicely explained to us. So the goal is our own life, we transmute it into divinity and merge with the Lord, which I think others have also said. But I thought I would just point it out to this paragraph. We can read and contemplate and see how we make our senses offered to God. Our guna should be offered to God. Our quality should be offered to God. Our mind should be offered to God. Then there is peace. When there is no worries, no fear, no anger, no sadness, nothing. So that's what Ramayana teaches us. I think in the next chapter, Swami goes on to talk about, I think, Bhagavata, and Swami will speak more on this. So this is the way we have to deal in this world, is my understanding. Sorry, if anyone, I will just pause. If others have something to comment or say, please do so. And then we can close the session, I guess. Saira.
Sairam, brother, there is an announcement. Okay, brother Arul, you have a question?
Sairam, yeah, I thank everybody. So my sincere appreciations to everybody giving these inputs. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam, everyone. We are thinking of changing the time a bit, or half an hour shift. Instead of Saturday and Sundays, we start at 3:30 to 4:45. Can we change it from 3 to 4:15, half an hour earlier? And you can think over it and tell us next weekend. But if any one of you, if this will cause to any one of you anything, if you are not comfortable, please tell us, because this is not a must. Because all the participants are actually God chosen here. Because so many hundreds devotees are here in our region too, but only the few people are coming here. Because these are the God chosen people and we will not hurt anybody. So the thing is, please tell us next time, next weekend, if we can forward advance this time like this, 3 to 4:15, Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. That's the thing. Think over it and let us know. You don't need to tell now. I think it makes clear. Even if any questions you have, if you don't understand my thing, anybody, any question about that?
Saira, this is Auntie. When are you starting this?
That's what I am. If next weekend, if somebody feels that it is not comfortable, then we cannot do that. The next weekend, if they say yes, then the following weekend, the 1 week after next week, we will implement this one. You understand this?
This is Sakku Auntie. I'm okay with the time change.
Okay. Everybody can think over it and tell us next weekend. I will ask this next time. Thank you, Sairam. Brother, you can wind up. Okay.
Okay, Sairam, brother. So we'll close with Samasta Loka and Shanti. Sairam. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
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 Sairam.